back to my kitchen, Gigi's kitchen, and I'm so happy you made it. Last week we did cornbread dressing and it turned out really well. Thank you so much for all your support. And don't forget to subscribe. That helps me move on through my YouTube journey. But throughout the week I have had lots of requests to do the herb dressing I talked about in that video. So I'm going to do a quick herb dressing, and this is pretty quick because I'm going to take it, we're going to pull it all together very quickly for all of those who are just learning to cook or wanting to up their game or maybe try something a little different, because this one is very different. So we're going to do the herb, and we are going to take it out of the package. You can make croutons if you want to make it with, or you can buy croutons in the deli. I'm not sponsored by this company. This is just what I picked up when I was at the grocery store the other day. But I've used this many years and we like it in our family. So you can do it this way, which I think is the easiest. Also, if you can't remember all the ingredients, you can always look on the back and there's your ratios for this package. So you can look at it and see. We're going to adjust our ratios just a little bit, but not much. Let's review a little bit of the ingredients besides our dried bread with herbs in it. This is already very herby. There's several different brands out there. Just grab one that's on sale. I think it'll work for you. Or like I said, you can get some out of the deli. Over here, my skillet though, I've got in here is a half a pound of pork sausage, and I use the breakfast sausage. You can use the breakfast sausage with the sage in it if you want, but this, of course, your croutons or your dried bread has sage in it, and then I added sage to the stock. It also has 1 cup of finely chopped onions and 1 cup of finely chopped celery. You can up your game on the onions and celery if you like, depending on how much breadcrumbs you want in there. So just go buy your package if you're not sure, or taste it and add more as you go. The first thing we do is fry up our sausage. Then I remove any of the pork fat that's left in the skillet. You can leave it if you want, but I take mine out. I add about a half of a stick of butter, throw in my celery and my onions, and saute that all together to continue frying my sausage. So that's going to go in my bowl. There's that. It goes in. So then the next thing I've got going in is my breadcrumbs. And I've got 1 big package of breadcrumbs. If you want to make extra, you can, but I think for us and for demonstration pack purposes, 1 is plenty. So then, the other big ingredient that is really different for this one is to stock or no stock. So once I blend all this together and get the sausage and everything mixed in there, I usually add about a cup of stock. So the package instructions I think calls for 2 cups of stock, but we're not going to use stock. We are using white wine. And you can use all white wine and no stock at all if you want. Now, I know that my sister, she makes hers with just wine. And this is a light wine. This is a Pinot Grigio. You can go with a heartier Sauvignon Blanc if you want. I definitely would not use anything sweet in this. If you go with all of wine in your herb dressing, then you might want to add a little bit. I do put a teaspoon of sage and a teaspoon of poultry seasoning in my stock if you want as well. So I'm going to go ahead and stir this up so I can mix up my sage in there. And I'm going to drizzle this in here. And I'm going to put half of this because this is 2 cups of stock. So there's 1 cup. Now stir that through. And this is where you just keep stirring until you get it to the texture that you want. If you want it really crumbly, there you're good. I like to keep stirring mine until I get it to at least hold together in the bowl. So my stock's gone in. Now I need to add at least 1 more cup of wine, if not 2. So we're going to go in with our wine. So there you go. That's got to be at least a cup. I don't know how much I put in my craft there, but so I'm going to stir that through, and it's going to absorb And my stock is warm. I did warm it through. It wasn't cold, and the wine is room temperature. It's not cold either. See, it's already starting to bind. And when this cooks in the oven, it smells so good. Now you can put this in this turkey, you can put this in a pork roast. But in a little while, I'm going to show you a little appetizer we do, so we'll need to save some back. Alright. So the way I test this, the way I learned to do this, my mom taught me, because my mom made this dressing. This is the dressing I grew up on. We didn't eat cornbread dressing. Okay, now see, it's starting to bunch up and it's starting to mold together. So if I go in here and I get me a little bit of it and I squeeze it, it holds together into a little ball, just like that. It's ready to go into the pan, and that's all you do. Now you can add anything else you want to this. You can shred a few little carrots in there. You can add cranberries, pecans, or walnuts, or whatever it is that you like. I still have a little bit of room in there. I think I'm going to add just a tad more wine to it. And then it's going in the casserole dish. And it's going to go into the oven. And I'm going to put this on about a 375 oven, covered with foil, until it's heated through really well. Because remember, everything in here is cooked. Heated through really well. And then from there, I'm going to take the foil off and let it get toasty brown on the outside. So there we have it. Now we're ready to go into the casserole dish. Which I have a little casserole dish here. And I have greased it up really good with some butter. And you notice I didn't put any salt and pepper in this because my stock already has salt in it. And you could taste it and see what you want. If you needed to add salt, you could. Now I'm going to save a little bit back for our little appetizer we're going to make here in a minute. That's probably good. So there we go. Smash it all down in there nice. And leave it all there. This is dense and thick, and there we go. And there we have it. Now I'm going to cover this with some foil, and it's going to go into a 375 oven for about 30 minutes, and I'll take the foil off and then let it toast up really good, and it will be ready. You can put this in the freezer and let it and freeze it up, and then take it out just like we did with the cornbread dressing the day before. Let it thaw, totally thaw, and then put it in the oven, heat it through, toast it off, and then it'll be ready to serve. But this is very easy to make. And here we go, our beautiful herb dressing ready to go. I've already sliced the piece right here, added my cranberry sauce. Can't have dressing without cranberry sauce. So simple, so easy. You can do this. I have faith in you. I know you can. So enjoy. And spice it up a bit. Add some of whatever you think will be good. And stuff these right in here. You can mount it up high if you want. But mainly I try to keep them to where they're bite size. There we go. Whoops. Alright, gonna take my little slices of mozzarella and put them all over the top. There we go, that looks pretty good. Put one of these over here. There we go. Okay, that on there. I'm gonna put a little splash of wine, this white wine, down in the bottom. Just enough to cover, give it a little steaminess going on when I put it in there. I usually like to cover it a little bit with the foil, but I'm afraid my foil will stick to the trees, so I'm just going to put it in the oven just like this. I could put a big dome over it if I had one, but I don't have one. But if you have one, that's a good idea. So this is going to go in with the dressing and bake right alongside it. So I'll be back in a minute. Stay with me. So here's our mushrooms appetizers. They are ready to go. Oh yeah, look at that yummy, cheesy goodness. Yum. Ready to go. These will be great. Everybody's gonna just love them.